Assalamu alaikum. You know, it's really sad when you have a pathetic, government like we do. Racist, Jim Crowish, extremist racist, and, to influence everybody in the country because of my money that you're throwing around. This is the reason why we want to get you out of office, Biden, and impeach you 3 times. You are a murderer. Everything that you do to try to stop me shows you are a murderer. And if anybody's trying to help you, they're accomplice to murder. Conspiracies. Because why do you have to do all of this to try to convince everybody that you have something that you don't? You're in the New World Order and you're played out. You're not in the New World Order, but you're played out with your old world extreme Trump and Nancy Pelosi's extreme Illuminati, and your the Kluxes, because they invented the Kluxes. They came up with the Kluxes, the Ku Klux Klan, when they came to America, and Hillary's Jim Crow to keep us all oppressed and enslaved. Even the people that's watching the people that they have in Jim Crow, you're still in Jim Crow yourself. So, it's one of those things to where we have a pathetic racist government with a pathetic racist president and a pathetic racist cabinet and senators and congresspeople, representatives, the whole 9 yards. I don't see why Thomas is even there and the sisters is in there and the Muslim sisters that's in there. What are you doing for your people? What are you doing for me? What have you, it's like Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? Besides murder my mother and rob my money for 43 years from her, she never got a chance to enjoy anything. What have you done for me, man? You haven't done for me. You want me to give you $1.99 for some space, and you sitting up here hoots with this pathetic woman in Wilkinsburg, hoots, and the chief of police and the mayor are black women, and they let a black woman fall to this crazy racist shit, and you're all in there being white as black people. That's the reason why you can't get out. I told Blaine, I told him, I said, if you don't say something pertaining to you being black, you won't get out of there. You think you got me, but I have you. You think that just because I'm in New York that you can get me? You've all failed. You've been obliterated. You've been wiped off the map. It's a reset. You can't come in here now and everybody has to function the way they're supposed to function. You cannot have no influence on anything anymore, Biden. You've been proven to be a murderer. Hillary's been proven to be a murderer. Nancy's been proven to be a murderer. Trump has been proven to be a murderer. The whole government has been proven to be a murderer because you took the jail that took you on the wrong side of the law, that obliterated your constitution, your judicial system, and your legislation. Now, enough of this pathetic display of you trying to be me. You're fraudulent. You're imposters and murderers. Biden, you are a murderer. Because why are you keeping this going on, trying to say that you're me? In my mother's legacy, cut again. Cut! You can't say you didn't murder the woman, man. What are you doing with our property and our money? Hoots is a pathetic, jellyfish, spineless, pawn scum of a woman. She will sell her own mother out to get what she wants. She murdered her husband and she murdered her sister to get what she wants, and she murdered my mother. have to do all this just to survive in America as a Muslim man. And you murder my mother and Muslims are not doing anything. We should be going to the streets and killing all of these motherfuckers. Because I can't get no justice in a lawless society. It's time to purge these motherfuckers. Because they don't go by their own laws and their own rules because they don't have any. That's why they're doing me like this. What's wrong with you Muslims, extremists? It's time to rumble, man. I'm tired of these people. They murdered all across the globe and you're sitting up there worrying about some damn extortion? Fuck some extortion. They can't give you no more than what I can give you. I can give you way more. It's a shame I have to bid like that. Come on, Gaddafi. I put in work for this, man. I believe in this. What is wrong with you? And that's why people don't follow you. Because you don't take care of your own. I put in work for this. Nothing the Americans should say to you, should say anything to you, India, Gaddafi, Saddam, Bin Laden. Nothing they can say to you, you should be listening to. Money? You sold out the cause for money? Well, then you're no different than they are. Farrakhan did it. So, okay, you do it too. You like him? You're telling me you're like Farrakhan, a false prophet. That's all he is. We should be obliterating these motherfuckers right now. We caught these motherfuckers in lies. I've came back to prove that. They tried to kill me off. I killed them off. They're not allowed to come back. Keep them in Lebanon. No matter where the demographics is set, keep that crazy shit right there and burn it and make sure they never come back. Kill that Dr. Dre's ass and everything, his offspring. Don't never let another Dr. Dre be born. Do him like they did Caligula. They did his son the same way. After they killed Caligula, they killed his son so he could breed no more of that filth. Those Illuminatis and those people that call themselves Greeks or some grimy motherfuckers, and them Jews are even grimier. I'm still here, Ross Perlman. That's going to cost you, Jew. I'm back. Better than ever. I ain't forgot about you, Cabron. We don't die, we just multiply. They die because they're fake. I'm the realest of the realest out here. Nobody can outdo me on anything when it comes to this type of shit. Especially a punk-ass motherfucker like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube. Those are bologna sandwich-ass motherfuckers. I'm steak. And you passing me up for them motherfuckers? That's why you're losing. You're losers. Nothing but losers. I'm trying not to be upset, but I really am. I have to go through all this to get out of this racist ass Jim Crow extreme hate ass shit. Now where my Muslims at? I don't want these pussy ass motherfuckers. I want the warrior class, the extremists. Because I'm ready to burn. I'm tired of fucking begging. And I want Biden to suffer like a motherfucker for murdering my mother. You murdering ass motherfucker. You too, Obama. Impeached them 3 times, both of them. So Obama cannot come back to the government ever again. And neither can Biden because he's a screwball. Nancy, impeach her too, 3 times. And Hillary, definitely Hillary, with that Jim Crow. And Trump with that extreme. And get them speakers too, both Democratic and Republican, out of the White House area, anywhere near Congress. Ban them motherfuckers. The government of the United States is the biggest organized crime racketeer organization in the world besides Beijing and Moscow. They're third. And you're not doing anything about this. Extremists. I've never asked you for anything. I've always provided you what you want. I put in work for this. I'm tired of this, and I'm ready to live my life, the rest of my life, with my money and doing my mother's work. Now, if you don't get me out of this shit, then you're no better than they are. And then you're an infidel, a cheater on your own people who put work in for you, believed in you. I don't believe in them. I believe in you. They failed me on belief. It's time to put some work in on these people. They don't know fear. They like to dish it out. You let them trick you into taking your radicalism 43 years ago when you did have the extreme radicalism on them and you put the fear in them. But what they did was told you that America don't do that. We don't go after families. We don't do that. But they took your extremists and they gave it to the racist whites and they start putting it on everybody with the Jim Crow. And they came up with this extortion that has the Jim Crow in it that your stupid ass can't see, that they're using you to be white. That's why nobody's black, nobody's Asian, nobody is Latin, nobody's Middle Eastern. Everybody got to be white to be in this goddamn Jim Crow ass extortion. Why do you have to be to be an extortion? You don't have to change your values on who you are. Just extort. So you know this is racist and you're being played. If you go for their extortion, you're playing your own ass. Because it's against you. You're in there being white. That's why you can't come out of there. That's why the blacks can't come out of there. Because they sold their soul to these white racist devils. And you did too. If you agree with the extortion. You shouldn't have to have an extortion that you have to change who you are. You're in there white, Arab. You're not in there an Arab. Learn who you're fighting and learn whose side you're on because you're on their side. You're on the infidel side. Taking my money this way is chump change compared to what I can make for you and myself. I just want my end of it. Burn them motherfuckers and get them out of my business. I'm the warrior, not Dr. Dre. I just murked this fucking ass and his whole crew and the government. Now, don't allow them to come back, man, because we'll keep on going through this stupid ass shit. And if you do, you're no better than they are, and then I got to look at you now. Because I always have somebody else waiting in the wings. Don't think you're the only one. I have to do that because I have to see who's the double crossers. You're acting like the infidel. No, Gaddafi, you know you're not dead. Bin Laden is not dead. Saddam is not dead. Obama lied, buried him at sea. He wasn't a sailor. He was a sandman, a man of the desert. So what's he getting buried at sea for? That was a phony, man. Why do you just lie so goddamn much? And you accept this, you let this infidel just lie. You don't have to hide no more. This is the new world order. You're no longer ISIS or the Taliban. We are no longer, they put me with you. So I'm not punking out now. We are no longer ISIS or the Taliban. We're the holy disciples of the Lord Allah. You see how we fight? I don't die. I don't compromise. I'll obliterate a motherfucker that keeps fucking me every day and murdering my family. I don't give a fuck about nobody in here. I don't have no biological family. I don't have no friends. And I don't have a woman. I don't even have a good hoe. So what do I give a fuck about them? Because that's what they're saying about me. You towing me? I towed your ass up out of here, Tojo. Get your tow truck out of here, motherfucker. And I'm not following them young bitches. I don't want to fuck none of them bitches because I don't want none of my kids to come out like them hoes. And that's the truth. Swear on Allah. Because they're white bread. They're not black bread. They're not bran bread. They're not whole grain. They're white bread. Wonder bread. They've been assimilated. Their minds have been taken. Yours too. If you go for that Jim Crow extortionist activity. You're a sellout to the cause of Allah and everything the Quran stands for. The Quran, it stands for much more than what the hell you doing? Because you're selling out. You know better than Farrakhan. He sold out. He sold his soul to the crackers because all they have to do is give him money. My money. And you letting these infidels take, how are you going to turn our kids, and I'm saying ours, I don't have any, but we're going to turn our kids over to this shit? What do you have to show for your kids being safe in that shit or lasting in that shit or getting anything that has to do with Arab culture, Black culture, Asian culture, Latin culture? You're losing it fucking with these Aryans because they want you to forget who you are and be who they are. It doesn't take a shaman or a philosopher or any holy man or any clergy to tell you something you already know. I shouldn't have to tell you this, but I see I have to because you keep playing their stupid ass game and you keep keeping yourself in their hate. As long as you keep me there, you're keeping yourself there. So you're an infidel, keeping another one of your family members enslaved, helping the whites, Americans that you had problems with for years and still do. Going across the globe, killing people in the name of the Taliban and ISIS. Families, they went into compounds and blew them up, saying they blew themselves up. We don't self-destruct. Allah doesn't believe in it. We either die in battle Or the circumstances may be it's something that just happened, but we don't self-terminate. That's their stigma on us, blowing ourselves up. They want to make us a threat like Timothy McVeigh. They do that. Unibarber shit. The whites do that. Blowing up buildings and shit. You remember Timothy McVeigh? They didn't execute Timothy McVeigh. It was one of them. And he was an extremist. They kept him alive. But they made us think, just like they do with you, that he's dead. He's just in exile. And probably roaming around doing terrorist things now. On a minimum. Whites protect their own, no matter how bad they look. Now, I'm not an extreme person to the point to where I cannot be fair, even though there's no fairness coming at me. But Robert Byers, I'll speak for Robert Byers. Out here, I knew Robert Byers as a child. And allegedly he done things and atrocities to Jews that they well deserved. I'm not going to cut him down at all. Because you Jews, with that Ross Perlman on my mother's door murdering my mother and letting her slip through the cracks, or some grimy, evil motherfuckers, and for somebody to snitch on Jesus 3 times and sell him out to the Romans to murder him, never, ever trust a Jew. If you do, you're a fool. They murdered Jesus by selling him out to the Roman Pontius Pilate to murder him. And they lied on him and told lies to keep him out of the way of their gambling profits and prostitution profits. In the temple, for God's sake. In the God's temple, for God's sake. That's the reason why they murdered Jesus, because he kicked them out of the temple from prostituting inside the church. And gambling. Kind of like now. You have no morality. This is a new world order, the truth in your face, and this is for humanity, mankind. My new world order is for mankind, womankind, and childkind. And even the transit on the street doesn't get forgotten or left out. But you and yours, and even you, Arab, you leave your own behind. I got to tell you about you. All you want is what you want, and you flaunt, but you forget. Hypocrites do get caught up with, because if you're preaching to us to be faithful to you, but you're not faithful to us, and we see that. It's kind of like how Farrakhan's flock is turning against him, because he's not faithful to his flock. They're faithful to him, but they're not. They notice that he's not faithful to them. You see how people watch you? They don't listen to what you say, Arab. They listen to what you do. And you're quiet with your silent rape victim shit. You're no different than the infidel. And I'm starting to look at you like that. And believe me, I always keep some allegiances that you don't know. So I'm just letting you know. Don't think you can double cross me and get with it. I don't care who you are. Because in that, you're fucked in there. If you don't get in this and get right, eat a Snicker bar and get back to yourself again, in that, you're nothing but a white Arab. Because you're adapted to their way of thinking, the infidel. And that's to come in and accept their Jim Crow inside the extortion. That means you have to be white. Give up who you are. You understand? Murk them motherfuckers and get this shit out the way. I'm tired of playing this game. I'm tired of that goofball ass president who's a murderer, because he's a definitely Lorna Doone cookie. He don't have a bit of sense at all. He's a greedy bastard, and he's a murdering one too. And he will do anything to keep my money and stand there with identity theft saying he's me. And you too. What fun is it being me? You see how I'm treating you? How fun is it being me? It's not fun being me. The me that they have, but it's really fun being me. Me, the real me. Their me, it's not fun. Your me, it's not fun because you're not giving me fun. Are you giving me fun? You giving me hate just like them, Arab. So you're an infidel. I busted your ass. I knew you were. But I tried to give you respect when you didn't deserve it because you wasn't giving me none. You was embarrassing me in front of these people, trying to act like you're not going to give me shit. But you're not getting shit. And you still got this bullshit at Google. They're done. I made up my mind about them. They're murked. YouTube, you're kind of, the lawsuits definitely will fly, and you definitely are suing and cutting extortionist deals. But see, that's the problem. You're assimilated just like the infidel. You're no different. If you're extorting, you're a snitch. You know that. You know that, Arab. Because the snitch intel off of people to snitch to someone else. So you're getting a bad reputation hanging around them motherfuckers. I don't let that shit brush off on me. I'll only hit them up when I have to. They want extortion from me. You took everything I got in my whole fucking repertoire with that funky fuck Dr. Dre. And him, do not let another Dr. Dre be born. That daughter of his, watch that bitch. Don't let her have no fucking kids or nothing. Make sure she don't have nothing. Because we can't afford to have another Dr. Dre born in this motherfucker. I got you, Caperone. We're still in the fight. We ain't dead and we ain't assimilated. We don't be assimilated. We assimilate people for the good, the common good of the community. Because you're being the bad, YouTube, if you're listening to the government. And I'm calling you a murderer if you do. As soon as you start messing with my broadcasts, that's what you're going to be called. You better stop listening to that stupid ass president. He's an idiot. He's a moron. Why do I even try, man? Why do I even try with this good? You all want your kids to die in that stupid ass shit. That's letting them win is killing out your kids' future. Because you want your kids' future to be enslaved in Jim Crow like this, like you are, listening to the infidel. Your kids are growing up into this shit. And you, Gaddafi, they murdered your whole family. Now, I know you got new family and everything like that, but I know your heart's heavy for your old family that you had. You mean to tell me you're going to forgive them for this Jim Crow extortion? And get extortion off of them? But what purpose is that with your kids that you have now? You have your kids growing up into this. Only thing they're going to learn is to grow up to be extortionists, murderers, and do things like the Americans. That's the only thing you're teaching you. They're going to have to kill because it's kill or be killed. So why put them in that environment? Can't you understand they need a better environment, the children? I'm thinking about them. I'm not thinking you rusty ass motherfucking adults anymore. Because you motherfuckers ain't got shit going for you but this stupid ass, racist ass shit that the infidels is teaching you how to be. I'm very frustrated about this. Why am I working so hard for peace and your children having it for a future? Why? Isn't this what you wanted, Arab? Everybody in harmony some way? They might not agree 100 on everything, but at least they can agree to let our children grow up and have a better future. Because this bullshit that you're doing and they're doing, and especially the Asians and the Latins, it's no future for the kids. They're going to die. They're going to grow up killing each other because this extortion is dog eat dog. And it's going to be worse when they get older. I think you better change it if you want your kids to have a better future. And that's what I'm trying to do in my new world order, is have a better future for everyone, not just the kids. Not just the kids that's in here trying to understand why are we in here and we're not prospering without you have to take someone else's. You don't have no ability to create your own. I gave you the ability to do that through me, making legitimate money. Everybody, even the stupid ass president. But he didn't see it because he's a racist ass bastard like Trump, like Obama, like Hillary, like Nancy, like the Speaker of the Republican Party and the Speaker of the Democratic Party. You got extreme hate on one side, and you have Jim Crow hate, moderate hate on the other side. And what that moderate means is they're still extreme, but they make the blacks think that they're for them. It's like that Illuminati thing. When the Illuminatis allowed the blacks to be members, it was a joke on them because they just wanted their extortion on the membership, but they never was going to give them the power of the masonry. But the whites get it. They'll pull together for them, but they won't pull together for the blacks. So the blacks, like in Prince Hall out here in Wilkinsburg, that had the Masons Prince Hall right here on Wood Street with Darkins and everybody when they was, doing their thing. Well, they had to have themselves empowered to get something done because the whites wouldn't help them. They would come in and do speakings and do things like that just to get extortion. But when it came down to it, when the blacks needed help, the Masons was never there for them. The white Masons was. The black Masons was there for each other. And that let the blacks know that stop, as a matter of fact, the Illuminati had to tell them to stop, using the Masons because they said that they canceled the Masons out. But that was a lie. They didn't cancel the Masons out. They didn't cancel for the white. They canceled it out for the black. And they got rid of you. So the joke was on you. I was Illuminati. I know. I've been in all these organizations and they all double-crossed me. None of them is worth it. Not even this one. Because the simple fact is, look, you're acting no different than the infidel because you're in their extortion being white. Why do you have to not be an Arab to be in their extortion? If you had an extortion, you wouldn't ask for them to be Arab. You would just be, okay, we're extorting. You white, I'm Arab. That person's black, that person's Asian, Latin. Why you got to change who you are to be in their damn extortion so they can feel better? That's because they got you hating on somebody of color. You ain't hating on nobody white, are you? I don't see you hating on them. You hating on me. I'm dark just like you. I might be a different shade. It all depends where you at in the Middle East. because they're dark complected people too. Quit being this stupid ass infidel. And I'm talking to you with nothing but the utmost respect, even though that some of you don't deserve it because you haven't respected me. You haven't respected my mother. And I know that you didn't really give a shit either, but you should have. Because somebody killing this motherfucker out here, man, and having me on your side and your allegiance is a lot. That's why they want me working for them, but they want to take me and be me and have me do the work so they can do the collecting on the money. I knew what they were doing. I always had a trap for them and you. Never think I didn't, and never think that you're the only allegiance that I have. There's somebody else watching you. Don't ever think that. I always stay ahead of the game. The best thing for you to do is to align with me so you can get your kids out of that. If you're not thinking about your own rusty ass, think about your kids. Do you want that for them? Or do you want a new future where everybody gets some? Nobody gets left behind. We don't have to fight and claw. There's enough for everybody. Only the greedy motherfuckers do that. Like governments. Stop these people. This has been our problem for the longest. Is governments always trying to tell us what the fuck to do when they are wrong. And we know it. When we question them about it, then we got to revolute about it because they don't want to listen to you telling them they're wrong. But they want to tell you that you're wrong every damn time. You're wrong and you're not strong. It's because your mind won't come along with the new world order. You stand in the past and you're being nothing but a fool ass. You want the cash, but you can't accept that to get the cash, you got to mash the right person's ass. And that's the infidel who tries to form their allegiance and their hate in a mass. Do you understand or even grasp what I'm trying to say to you? That can last. Because you know you are feeble-minded, stuck in the past. You don't have no vision that can really keep your Islam at a last. Your Islam, your Muslim, your pride. You know, you have that, but you don't have the stride because you don't have that understanding that can keep your mind at a gliding on into the future. You're stuck in the past, and that's the reason why their hate has a hold to your ass. You never can let go because you're always listening to them to tell you what to do. When did they tell you what to do? Is your mind strong enough to see it through? Or is that the infidel in you holding you back, keeping you from being the person you can be true and not be someone else that they want you to be? You just keep on doing everything monkey see, monkey do. That's you. Why don't you take control and lay down the path and lay down the vision, lay down a new future that has a good vision? You can't do that because you stuck in the past, just being that stupid ass infidel ass. Listening to them, who would? I don't know. Some people could, but it's not good. It's always bad with America. They like the bad theme. They like to come out and be the baddest of baddest, it seems. But they're the weakest of weak because they have no vision. It's just monetary gain on their decision. You understand, brother? Or are you missing the point of the vision of Muslim faith? I don't think you have that in your taste no more. It's all about the percentages, being an infidel, extortionist whore. Make your money right. Go to the market, sell your goods. Get up in the morning early to get ahead of the game. Because at the market, everybody's trying to sell the same. But if you have something different to offer, a different taste in the water, they'll come to your trough to drink. And they'll want yours a little harder. Because they're weak, lukewarm, weak. Look at them drowning in their abyss, very bleak. I talk to you, let you know that I don't want you to be an infidel hoe. Because that's all you're doing the extortion, you know? Close the door. And let's try something new. The New World Order that's good for me and you and the kids too. And the women, they go with the money. So wherever the money goes, so does those hoes. They think the government has it, but the government don't. When they'll see everything to go to the abyss and nobody's going to survive because everybody's going to be clawing, scratching out each other's eyes. And it won't be a surprise. It's just a whole bunch of extortionist government lies. And you're buying it every day, buying that Michael Dean in every way in Pittsburgh, who's white and racist and not dark like the night. He's pale. Sometimes people say his whiteness comes from hell because he has no vision for you and I, just himself. And we are left out trying to claw in something that we don't even need to be in. Why don't we get our own and do it our way? Isn't that's the way you used to do it back in the day? You didn't follow the infidel. You had your own mind. You was able to think faster than them through time and stay ahead of the game and didn't fall for the rapper's rhyme. Don't listen to the talk that they talk because they don't walk the walk. They don't even punch the clock. They extort. Never had a job, a real job in their life. They haven't went to the marketplace and tried to get through the merchant's strife, making some food on the table for his wife and children in his life, paying the bills that they say that he owes on the property that he has on the land that they say he has dues. So he goes to the market and he works and he pays his way. Respectful man, making it the right way. You are an infidel. You look at that man and you're Cain and Abel. You wait for him to make all the profits and you take his food off the table. Quit being an infidel. Assalamu alaikum. Think about what I said. Because if you don't, these infidels are going to kill you dead. Not me. I'm going to fill them full of lead.